Hey, what's up, guys? Western Nomad here. Oh, almost fell down. Be careful out here. There's still ice on these trails. I've had some time to reflect on my time here in Colorado. It'll be 3 years this summer. And for those of you thinking about coming out here, there's a lot to consider. And you know, people on the internet are going to give you all sorts of advice, and they're going to tell you a lot of generic information that's true. You know, it's expensive to live here. The housing market is pretty crazy in every Front Range city. So Colorado Springs, Denver, Fort Collins, Boulder. It's going to be competitive. Now, obviously, it's not going to be as expensive as the major, well-known money suckers such as New York and California. But what you really need to know before you come out here is what kind of lifestyle you want. People in Colorado, they're nice people, you know, they'll go out of their way to help you, but they're also eccentric, weird loners. Maybe I fall into that category, but they tend to keep to themselves. They're not brash. They won't confront you with a problem. They'll avoid a lot of confrontation, and you know that there's a downside to that. They're obsessed with the outdoors. If you can't keep up with them, you're gonna have trouble making friends. So when you come out here, you're gonna have to learn all the things that I'm learning now and continue to learn, you know, such as how to hike in these mountains, how to do it safely, how to keep your body nourished with the right nutrients and protein, and the most important thing about Colorado when you're out here on the trails and doing whatever outdoor activity X, Y, and Z is to stay hydrated. Water's the most important thing out here, and I do recommend getting a water bladder, a Camelback, something you can stick on your backpack, and you can have a little hose attached to it. Another important thing, navigation. When you're out here on these trails, they all intersect, they crisscross. It can get confusing. You need to download the All Trails app, the premium version, so you can download maps to your phone. You won't get cell reception in the majority of backwoods trails, or really any mountainous trails in the state. Okay? So keep that in mind. There's a lot of homeless people in Colorado. Now, they're not the aggressive homeless people that you'll find in the major cities on the east and west coasts. Most of them have legitimately fallen on bad times. We have a lot of vets in Colorado Springs. It's a military town, and it's really sad. So they're not the aggressive type of homeless people. They're not going to threaten to hurt you, most of them. So people kind of keep to themselves, which is nice. Dating scene here, it's pretty tough. It's a majority, a lot of males here. The ratio, male to female, it's out of whack. And that's all the western states. Your best bet is Denver. Do not move to Colorado Springs. If you're a single young male, it's gonna be tough. I didn't factor that into my situation, and I'm paying for it now. So overall, Colorado is an amazing state. It has a lot to offer. I think it has one of the best quality of life offerings in the entire country, but I haven't seen a lot of the western states. You can really fall in love with this state, and the beauty and the surroundings will just make you go, holy crap, if you're not used to it. If you come from a major city like I did, from Baltimore, there's a good amount of culture shock involved with moving out here. You know, pot. A lot of people smoke pot around here. They do it while they're driving. You'll smell it in the air. A city like Colorado Springs doesn't like it because of the military presence, and recreational weed is not legal in Colorado Springs. Medicinal marijuana is. So if you're coming to Colorado Springs and you're thinking it's going to be like Boulder or Denver, you're going to be in for a surprise. So there's that. What else? Traffic gets pretty crazy on 70 going into the mountains, or 24 west on the weekends. Everybody wants to do the same things when they have free time. They want to do what I'm doing right now. They want to be out here in nature, you know, explore a beautiful trail, get out. We have great sunshine. You really feel the sun here because of the elevation and the exposure. Everyone's going to talk about the altitude. All you really need to know is it's going to take time to adjust, and you need water. Now, everyone's going to react to it differently, but with time it's going to get better. So yes, it's very dry, and we do have wildfires, and that's a downside. So pay attention to the fire. It's called red flag alerts before you get on the trails. I think living out here changes your entire perspective on what kind of lifestyle or lifestyles are out there in this world. And I really wasn't an outdoor guy. Like staying inside, playing my guitar. Moved out here and that all changed. I obviously still love playing music, and I'm lucky enough that I'm playing with a group of guys right now, and we're trying to put something together. More on that later. But yeah, you're gonna learn how to adapt to these outdoor activities, and the more you're immersed in them. And a lot of it's trial and error. You see all the stuff I'm carrying right now? That's 3 years of trial and error, of knowing what backpack it works for me, that's not too heavy, what kind of water filtration system I need, what supplies I need to bring. It's a balancing act. You obviously don't want too much weight, because it's going to slow you down, make your life miserable. The other side of the coin, you need to be prepared if you're stuck out here for a night or two. Now, we hope that doesn't happen unless you plan for it, but I like to be over-prepared. I travel alone most of the time. All Trails has a lifeline feature for the pro version, where you can put in a contact and they'll be notified of where you are. They'll use your phone's GPS. So if you have a loved one that is worried about you back home, you can keep them up to date. I keep my phone in here. I bought this pouch on Amazon. It's a lifesaver. I recommend it. There's lots of things to talk about, but Colorado, if you haven't been here and really explored it, if you've just been to Denver or Aspen, you're not getting the full picture of what this state has to offer. We have sand dunes, we have canyons, we have gorges, we have desert, we have mountains, we have plains, we have prairies. We have things that look like something in between that. It's a really eclectic landscape. So do your research before you come here. Know what apartment complex you want to move to. Visit it before you sign that lease. Try to get into the exact apartment that you want to live in. The leasing offices are going to give you problems. They're going to say, well, someone's living there, we can't let you in until they leave. Track the person down, find the number. I've done this. I've knocked on someone's apartment, total stranger, introduce myself, say, listen, I'm thinking about moving here, I want to know what I'm walking into, and they'll give you the real story. The story that the leasing agents are not going to tell you, and that's the most important. I figure out where I'm going here. It's the most important thing when you're apartment searching is getting in that exact room before you sign the lease. Get a top floor. A lot of these apartments, this is just everywhere in the country. You know, you're going to hear footsteps above you in most apartments if you're not on that top floor. So fight for it. Best decision I ever made. Go above and beyond what the average house hunter, apartment hunter is willing to do, and it'll make your experience here a lot more enjoyable. So you have to go against the grain sometimes and do your own research, because at the end of the day, leasing agents are trying to make money, and they could care less about your living experience. So keep that in mind. And yeah, just keep wandering the state, and I think you could have a really good life here. Don't worry about if you're an outdoor person or not. You'll fall into that lifestyle one way or the other if you're out here long enough. So it's a good example of crossroads. It's like, which way are you going? All right, this way. So yeah, you know, you got to have a job before you come out here. It's a tough market in basically every town that's not Denver. So in Colorado Springs, we have the air defense and military industry, which is huge. We have a small tech scene. Boulder has a better tech scene. Obviously, Denver does too. So jobs are pretty competitive and tight out here, but you're going to find that in most of the country. But other than that, man, it's an amazing state. I'm so glad I came out here and took that leap of faith, and now I get to see stuff like this.